The creation of new district is a risky project. In the last years, government created more than 364 sub-counties, 352 town councils, and 10 cities. In Uganda, we tend to believe that creating new districts is intended to bring services nearer to people, foreseeing development, providing platforms for people to participate in politics. I disagree with those theories because new districts are mostly created on political playgrounds, ethnic, tribal, religious, and to please regional groups, depending on prevailing support for the government in power. If we really want to bring service closer to people, then we should start with providing the citizen with clean water, better road, well-equipped hospital facilities, develop infrastructure that can make it easy for people to travel and to trade. But you have to get a system that corresponds to what is going on the ground. We have to make sure that every Ugandan has something to eat before creating so many administrative units that benefit only prevailing staff that are going to run those locations. Uganda spends billions per year in wages, salaries, and finance of new district. Creating a district by itself, therefore, unless it is accompanied by adequate staffing and capital for investment and operation cost, will not lead to improved service delivery. We know more than 58% of local government positions are not filled. And then you ask yourself, what is happening? Why is the local government not filling in those positions? What has happened to the local government? Because if you cannot fill the position, it means there is something wrong. Creation of new districts come with new political machineries, constituencies for parliamentary seats, town council staff, resident district commissioners, which have to be employed. Those are government. And those are government appointments. So if you see that some of those districts are promised during a campaign somewhere, somebody just goes there and say, guys, if you vote me, I'll make sure you get a district. And you have all the member of parliament who has gone into the parliament. There were times everybody is trying to say, I want university in my district. If we put all universities in Uganda, how are you going to run it? How are you going to get your resources to run those universities? You hear a member of parliament saying, I'm coming from 𝙁𝙊𝙇𝙊𝙒, so I need a university in 𝙁𝙊𝙇. And then you go and lobby left and right. And being stupid as we are, sometimes they get it. So you create university in Lira, university in Gulu, university in Moyo, university in Arua, university in Kidgo, university in 𝙁𝙊𝙇𝙊𝙒. Guys, what are we really talking about here? You see, those universities have to be run. Somebody has to pay for it. Are we really sure that our government has got enough money to pay for those universities everywhere, wherever you want it? We have seen already that, yeah, the local government cannot fill some of the position within the ministry itself. There were even times they could not pay for a re-election because they don't have the money. If you create a town council, if you create a municipality, if you create a city, you can, well, get the funding from the government, but it will come to a moment whereby you have to generate your own resources. And how do you generate those resources? It means you have to tax the population in your district in order to maintain a district. I think the best thing we could do as Member of Parliament, as a government, is to inform people that, listen, you want a district, then you have to understand that the government can give you a budget after a certain amount. But internally, as a district, it is your responsibility as a district to generate resources. And that resources generation comes through taxes. You'll have to tax the people in your district to generate that money for running some services in the district which you want to have. But if you go with that idea that the local government or the government is going to fund all the projects in your district, then you're wrong. Then you should have think twice before even dreaming of saying, I want you to divide this district into two, simply because you want to become a member of parliament. But you have not done your groundwork properly to check what are the packages coming with that city, with that town council, with that municipality. You have to explain it to your people. Let me give you one good, simple example. What is the population of Amoro? What is the population of 𝙁𝙊𝙇𝙊𝙒 district? Are you sure you can generate resources through taxing your own people in this district to maintain your district status? As far as I'm concerned, I don't think so. Because you have opened a district in a place whereby you have also to check what are the income of the people. How many people are living in that district? Are they going to pay those taxes? Because in most cities, town councils or municipality, everywhere you go, you see that people are being taxed. You have to pay tax for whatever you have. I don't know whether you are going to change the system in a completely different way, that here you put a district where nobody has got cash. Are you going to ask them to bring their cassava to pay for your tax as a district? Are you going to ask them to turn into barter trade? When you know exactly that these people, they don't even have money to help themselves. You see, without proper planning, the government is creating a lot of districts, which is going to give us a lot of problems in the future. I believe that there will come a time when the government cannot get any more money to finance those districts. The district will start collapsing one by one. You see, if you don't have a proper foundation for running a city council or a town council or what, then you have a problem. Because what are you going to do as a state if the people you want to tax cannot pay? They don't have anything. We cannot. If these people cannot pay tax, what do you expect? Are you going back to a barter trade? We are creating a new district. While government-headed schools are having shortages of teachers. The hospital around the country does not have enough medicine to care for our citizens. Many schools you hear have failed to complete their syllabus. Now, if you look at a district which is made of several counties, municipality in that area, you create a new district, or you divide the existing district into two. And then it leads to creating various departments, such as education, health, environment. Well, creating a district can create a lot of jobs. But those people taking those jobs are not going to come from that district. It's not. Believe me. You have government appointees that are going to be appointed by the government. Because as a resident director or resident director, how do you call it? Resident district commissioner, let's be specific. That is a political appointee. It is appointed by the government. Appointed by the government. They are representing the president. You know, I do believe that creating new districts brings some question with it. We think that if we create a new district, a municipality or a city, the government is going to fund us. But forgetting that in the long run, The government will give you a certain amount of money. But the rest, you have to generate your own resources at home in that district to care for some of the activities you want to fulfill. You are not going to run to the government, oh, I want to do that, give me money. I want to do that, give me money. We always forget, but in the long run, we have to create our own resources internally, not depending on the local government, by creating our own resources through taxing the population in order to fund activities in that district. You see, what I don't believe in is that you depend too much on the government. It is a risk that we are going to face, or it's a risk we are facing today, that if you depend too much on the government only, and the government turn into a legislator, that it control your life, my life, and the life of Ugandans, which has got nothing to do with the government because of privacy. You are just a free person. You have to lead your life the way you want to lead it. But the moment a government becomes a regulator, then we are going to have a lot of problems. Because if you don't watch properly, there will come a time they will regulate how late you have to go to bed and how late you have to wake up. They are going to regulate what food you have to eat, what clothes you have to put on. They may even go as far as regulating who you should pick to be your partner. That violating our individual liberty to live as we want. So when we leave the government and our member of parliament to legislate, to pick what they want us to do, then we are going the wrong way. Because I have a freedom like you, and you have a freedom to go to bed at 1 o'clock or to go to bed at 2 o'clock. The government should not come in between to regulate that. They don't. I send you as a member of parliament to the national parliament to defend me and to protect my rights. You can't go there and make a law that I don't understand. They have to come and explain to you how that law works. Because if you don't come back and explain to me, you just go and create a law, you regulate whatever you want to regulate, and you come back to me, I have to vote you, and I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm voting you. Some of the laws you are making, I don't even understand it. Why don't you come back, go to the people, explain why you created that law? What was the reason for creating that law? You don't assume, you don't think that everybody there reads and understands the law. Even here, where I am, sometimes I don't understand the law, so I have to go to somebody who understands the law to explain the law to me. You see, when we try to translate the law in order to make it easy to rule a state, then you are creating a problem not only for yourself, but also for the people who have to respect that law. Law in itself is just a guideline used to restrain people who want to use bad behavior as a source to their existence. And sometimes we use those laws to solve disputes between two people. Let's hope, before we move again to create new district, that creating new district is not going to help us at all. And the last message I want to send to you, recently also I saw that the president is inviting 50,000 pastors of the Pentecostal religion in Uganda to join him in a money-making business to help move people out of poverty. That would be a great mistake. That money you want to give to those 50,000 pastors from all over the country, you should invest it in hospital, better clinic everywhere, but giving it to those pastors, it will not take you anywhere. And creating new district is not going to help us. It is just creating chaos and making few people millionaires at the cost of so many. Thank you for listening. Wangoo is working hard. We will be online by January next year, I think. And please, when you watch our program, just press the subscription buttons. And thanks for your services.